Good afternoon. This is All India Radio and I'm Saira Mujtaba with the Midday News. The headlines. Campaigning for first phase of assembly elections in Chhattisgarh ends this evening. BJP President Amit Shah releases party manifesto for the state. Congress releases its manifesto for Madhya Pradesh. Election Commission reviews poll preparedness in Mizoram. 2 terrorists killed in an encounter with security forces in Pulwama district of Jammu and Kashmir. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu says peace is the fundamental prerequisite for progress. And in ICC Women's World T20 Cricket, India beat New Zealand by 34 runs in the opening match. Campaigning for the first phase of assembly elections in Chhattisgarh comes to an end this evening. 18 constituencies in 8 Naxal-affected districts will go to polls in this phase on Monday. Our correspondent reports that senior leaders of various political parties are holding rallies in different areas today.
Campaigning is at peak now as canvassing is scheduled to end in 18 assembly segments of Bastar Division and Rajnandgaon district by 5 p.m. today. As many as 190 candidates, including 14 women, are in the fray for first phase of elections. Security arrangements have been beefed up in the most affected areas of Chhattisgarh. Polling parties have already moved to the most affected constituencies in Sukma, Bijapur and Dantewada districts and other left-wing extremism affected areas. Vikalp Shukla, AIR News, Raipur.
Polling to the remaining 72 constituencies in the second and final phase will be held on the 20th of this month. BJP today released its manifesto named Sankalp Patra for the Chhattisgarh Assembly elections. Releasing the manifesto in Raipur, party's national president Amit Shah promised to make the state free from the problem of Naxals. The manifesto promises to ensure 24-hour power supply and pension of 1,000 rupees per month to farmers and landless labourers. Mr. Shah said during the last 15 years, the BJP government lifted Chhattisgarh from its Bimaru status and made it a fast-developing state. The BJP president said,
24 घंटा बिजली रोड रस्तों से ठेठ आदिवासी गांवों तक एक जाला बुनना, पूरे राज्य में सड़क, बिजली, पानी, दवा, बीज, शिक्षा, रोजगार, इस सारी चीजों को मुहैया कराना, मैं मानता हूं ये बहुत बड़ी चुनौती थी.
In Madhya Pradesh, the Congress today released its manifesto for the assembly elections. The party assured to address issues like farmers' loan, employment, women's security and corruption. It said electricity bills of farmers will be reduced to half and their debts will be waived off. The manifesto also promises a new recruitment system in place of Vyapam. Releasing the document at the party office in Bhopal, Congress State Unit President Kamal Nath said the manifesto has been prepared after discussions with everybody. Assembly polls in the state will be held in a single phase on the 28th of this month. Meanwhile, electioneering is gaining momentum in the state. Our correspondent has the details.
The war of words between the BJP and the Congress has intensified ahead of polling in Madhya Pradesh, with both the parties raising a range of issues to attack each other. Talking to reporters at Indore, Congress National Spokesperson Shakil Ahmed said that BJP starts talking the name of Pakistan whenever it sends defeat in elections. It also starts doing politics in the name of Lord Rama when elections are just around the corner. Union Minister for Minority Affairs and BJP leader Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi hit out at the Congress. Talking to journalists at Mandsaur, Naqvi said the Congress feels restless when out of power. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
In Mizoram, an election commission team headed by the Deputy Election Commissioner Sudeep Jain reviewed the poll preparedness in Champhai district this morning. In the meeting, the team also reviewed the security measures being taken for the election. The team had reached Aizawl yesterday. It held meetings with different stakeholders yesterday and held discussions on poll-related issues amid the current standoff caused by statewide agitation staged by the NGO Coordination Committee. The committee is demanding the removal of the Chief Electoral Officer, S.B. Shashank, and also protested against the poll panel order of removal of the Principal Secretary Home, Lalan Mavya Chwango. Meanwhile, campaigning by major parties is going on in full swing in the state, which will go to polls in a single phase on the 28th of this month. More from our correspondent.
Yesterday was the last date of filing nominations. The number of candidates who filed nominations was 210, which is yet to be declared officially by the election department. In this poll, Congress, Mizo National Front and BJP fielded candidates for all 40 constituencies, while other parties like Zoram People's Movement is contesting in 35 seats, Zoram Thar Party in 24, National People's Party in 10, and NCP fielded candidates in 5 seats. However, according to the political circles, this would be a four-cornered poll battle among Congress, MNF, BJP and ZPM. Irene, AIR News, Aizawl.
In Jammu and Kashmir, 2 terrorists were killed in an encounter with security forces in Pulwama district early this morning. Security sources said the forces had launched a cordon and search operation in Tikkan village based on inputs about the presence of terrorists there. As the forces zeroed in, the terrorists started firing, triggering an encounter. The sources said the identity of the killed terrorist is being ascertained. The operation is still on. One army jawan was martyred this morning in ceasefire violation by Pakistan in Sundarwani sector of Jammu division. A defense spokesman said Pakistani troops resorted to unprovoked firing on Indian posts around 9:45 a.m. The Indian troops gave a befitting reply. Details are awaited. Later, Pakistan violated ceasefire in Tangdar sector of Kupwara district. Security sources said the Indian Army is retaliating to the firing in a befitting manner. The exchange of fire was on when reports last came in. There is no report of any casualty or injury from Tangdar sector so far. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts. You can also log on to our website newsonair.nic.in. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has said peace is the fundamental prerequisite for progress. Addressing the Indian diaspora in the French capital, Paris, last night, Mr. Naidu said throughout its history, India has always been a voice for peace and non-violence. The Vice President said,
Quest for peace has made India join the United Nations and other multilateral bodies. It is our inherent belief that in an interdependent world, progress can be achieved only through dialogue and understanding. We belong to a country that has welcomed new ideas. Members of the Indian diaspora have exemplified this process of taking India to the world and bringing the world to India.
Lauding the contributions of the diaspora, the Vice President said, persons of Indian origin and Indians abroad have excelled in many areas of French public life, with many as members in the French Parliament as well as in the European Parliament. Mr. Naidu invited the members of Indian diaspora to take active participation in the creation of New India. The Vice President is in Paris to represent India at the activities commemorating the centenary of the armistice of World War. He will inaugurate Indian War Memorial at Villers-Quillan today. More than 50 countries and their representatives are expected to participate in the centenary activities. The main ceremony at Arc de Triomphe Monument will be presided over by French President Emmanuel Macron. India has hit back at Pakistan for expressing concern over the recent deployment of nuclear submarine INS Arihant. In reply to a media query, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Ravish Kumar said in New Delhi that the comments come from a country for whom the tenet of responsibility does not exist.
We are a responsible nation, and I think these comments are coming from a country for whom the tenet of responsibility does not exist.
The spokesperson said Prime Minister Narendra Modi had made India stand clear on the issue. Mr. Modi had said India's nuclear arsenal was not part of an aggressive policy, but it was an important means for peace and stability. The spokesperson said India is a responsible nation. Marking the country's nuclear triad, Indian nuclear submarine INS Arihant has successfully completed its first deterrence patrol. In Sri Lanka, the United National Front or UNF, led by ousted Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, has decided to challenge in the Supreme Court the President's decision to dissolve Parliament. The decision was taken after a parliamentary group meeting of UNF this morning. The case will be filed on Monday. UNF and some smaller parties termed the move as illegal, unconstitutional and unacceptable. The new government has sought to defend the dissolution, saying President Maithripala Sirisena is empowered to do so. The President had dissolved Parliament through a Gazette notification last night and called for elections on 5th of January.
The ongoing political battle in Sri Lanka will also become a legal battle, and all eyes will be on Supreme Court in coming days and weeks. The 19th Amendment to Constitution was brought by Mr. Vikram Singhe government in a bid to reduce excessive powers of President. However, it has not stopped the President from dismissing Mr. Vikram Singhe and dissolving the Parliament, citing different sections of Constitution. Interestingly, Mr. Vikram Singhe has decided not to approach the courts when he was removed and placed his bet on Parliament. The new government has maintained that final sovereignty lies with the people, which can be decided only through elections. Santosh Kumar for AIR News from Colombo.
The government's program Study Webs of Active Learning for Young Aspiring Minds, or SWAYAM, is benefiting the people in Andhra Pradesh. The objective is to take the best teaching learning resources to all, including the most disadvantaged. Here is a ground report from our Vijayawada correspondent.
SWAYAM seeks to bridge the digital divide for students who have hitherto remained untouched by the digital revolution and have not been able to join the mainstream of the knowledge economy. While reacting on the training program, a trainee, Dr. Smita, Vice Principal, Government Degree College, Kadiri, said,
Commissionerate of Collegiate Education of AP has been organizing a weekday workshop where the college lecturers are trained to design online courses on MOOC platform. With this, CCA has taken steps to digitalize the teaching, learning and evaluation methods. During this training, even the assessment methods of students are also digitalized by using the special softwares called Plickers.
Thus, under the SWAYAM and online open courses, unemployed youth have been benefited a lot and could stand on their own feet. Dr. G. Kondalrao, AIR News, Vijayawada.
Britain's Transport Minister Joe Johnson has resigned from Prime Minister Theresa May's government over the issue of Brexit. Johnson, the younger brother of hard Brexiteer Boris Johnson, called for the public to have a fresh say on Britain's membership of the European Union, EU. The Conservative Party MP, who was a New Delhi-based journalist for the Financial Times between 2005 and 2008, said the UK was barreling towards an incoherent Brexit that is going to leave us trapped in a subordinate relationship to the EU. Unlike his Brexit voting brother, who resigned as Foreign Secretary in July, Johnson voted to remain in the EU. In the United States, at least 9 people have been killed and more than 150,000 evacuated as 2 big wildfires rage in California. According to officials, 5 people of the dead were found in cars in a town that was destroyed by the Camp Fire in the north of California. West of Los Angeles, the Woolsey fire jumped a major highway and headed into coastal areas, including the town of Malibu, where some homes were gutted in the fire. Both fires are moving fast, fanned by strong winds. In cricket, India defeated New Zealand by 34 runs in their opening Group B match of the ICC Women's World 2020 at the Providence Stadium in Guyana last night. Opting to bat, India posted a formidable 194 for 5, riding on skipper Harmanpreet Kaur's maiden T20 ton. She scored 103, with Jemima Rodrigues making 59. Then with the ball, the Indian A's restricted the Kiwis to 160 for 9. Hemlata and Poonam Yadav bagged 3 wickets each. Harmanpreet was named player of the match. In the second Group B match, India will face Pakistan tomorrow. The 24th Kolkata International Film Festival, KIF, begins this evening at the Netaji Indoor Stadium. The festival, to be inaugurated by Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, will be attended by the famous Iranian director Majid Majidi. A centenary tribute will also be paid to legendary Swedish director-producer Ingmar Bergman through the screening of 8 of his outstanding movies. The 8-day extravaganza, considered to be the country's second oldest film fest, also has a plethora of award-winning international films from US, Spain, France and Russia. And now, before we close, the headlines once again. Campaigning for first phase of assembly elections in Chhattisgarh ends this evening. BJP President Amit Shah releases party manifesto for the state. Congress releases its manifesto for Madhya Pradesh. Election Commission reviews poll preparedness in Mizoram. 2 terrorists killed in an encounter with security forces in Pulwama district of Jammu and Kashmir. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu says peace is the fundamental prerequisite for progress. And in sports, in ICC Women's World T20 Cricket, India beat New Zealand by 34 runs in the opening match. And for details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.nic.in. With that, we end the Midday News.